Here's the thing. I became infamous on the internet in 2016 for accidentally beating off on camera. Now, luckily, nothing was shown. There was absolutely nothing exposed to the internet. It was just me doing my O face. I went viral for it. I just want the bust. Oh, man. Bust. Give me the monster. Bust. Wow, it's big. Bust. Oh my God, look how big he is. Oh my God. Wow. That thing is a monster. I just want the bust. Oh man. Bust. Give me the monster. Wow, it's big. Bust. I just want the give me the monster. I just want the
vibrant and robust.
Wow. I just want the bust. I just want the give me the monster. I just want the wow, it's big.
Where did the load go?
I just want the bust. Oh man. Bust. Give me the monster. Bust. Wow, it's big. Bust. I just want the bust. I just want the bust. Oh! Here's the thing. I became infamous on the internet in 2016 for accidentally beating off on camera. Now, luckily, nothing was shown. There was absolutely nothing exposed to the internet. It was just me doing my O face. I went viral for it. I just want the bust. Oh man. Bust. Give me the monster. Bust. Wow, it's big. Bust. Oh my God, look how big he is. Oh my God. Wow. That thing is a monster. I just want the bust. Oh man. Bust. Give me the monster. Wow, it's big. Bust. I just want the give me the monster. I just want the
vibrant and robust.
Wow. I just want the bust. I just want the give me the monster. I just want the wow, it's big.
Where did the load go?
I just want the bust. Oh man. Bust. Give me the monster. Bust. Wow, it's big. Bust. I just want the bust. I just want the bust.
I bought a refurbished.
Hello. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Good morning. Good morning, morning. Switch over to my feed. All right. There you go. Okay. So I updated my pinned YouTuber. Wanted to do it for a good while, so now you can see his eyes move instead of just staring at the screen. So yeah, we got 2 videos we are reacting to. I wanted to do Jay Frill's video first, then we'll be watching the Oldies video of the day. Hopefully I'm gonna turn down the volume just in case, because Sam is sleeping. So yeah. All right. Video number 1, which is technically this one.
Funding for Schaefer Ellis is provided by Squarespace, the sponsor of today's video. The 95th Academy Awards are almost among us.
Yep, this Sunday. I'm still hoping for not a full sweep, but a good majority of the awards going to EEAO. Deserves it.
And I will be hate watching as always.
Me too. Because Campbell's back. Kimmel is such a dummy.
You blew it. You blew it.
Nope.
The insultingly unfunny Jimmy Kimmel banter in order to see some performers and craftsmen get some well-deserved recognition. But you know what didn't really get much recognition this year? Animation.
Yep. Yep. Ay, ay, ay. That is such... It's such a tragedy.
Okay, we got 2 of the best titles for any animated short nominee ever, but in terms of the nominees for Best Animated Feature, none of these films got any other nominations in any other category. Before the noms came out, a lot of people were predicting Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio to get recognized in the Best Original Score and Original Song categories.
That's
but
sad.
Nope, it wasn't shown any love there. Meanwhile, unless you've been living under a rock, you should know just how acclaimed Marcel the Shell with Shoes On and Puss in Boots The Last Wish were. Both of them received glowing critical reviews and even managed to be among the top 10 highest rated movies of the entire year.
And that's an achievement.
On Letterboxd, beating out every Best Picture nominee except for Everything Everywhere All at Once. With the amount of love these films got from critics and average movie fans, you'd think this would have warranted some discussion in the Best Picture race. But no, neither of these were ever considered legitimate contenders for the top prize, or for any nomination outside of Best Animated Feature. Even Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, another critically acclaimed movie that's heavily favored to win Best Animated Feature, and was considered a likely nominee for the music categories before being snubbed there, was never legitimately in the conversation for Best Picture.
Still gotta watch it.
I mean, this is Guillermo del Toro we're talking about. In 2017, he directed a movie about a lady who fucks a fish.
And that won Best Picture, unsurprisingly.
And it won Best Picture and Best Director. In
no love.
2021, he directed Nightmare Alley, which I barely heard anyone talk about.
I mean, it wasn't that great from what I heard. So.
But hey, it got a Best Picture nomination. The Academy loves this guy. So why the hell was Pinocchio not anywhere near the Best Picture conversation this year? I'll tell you why. Because it's an animated movie. At this point, it's no secret that the Academy absolutely does not respect the medium of animation. Not only do animated films never get nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah. 64 years.
But for over a decade now, they've never even been in the conversation for the big award. Believe me, I know. I've been following this stupid-ass awards show since 2012. And ever since then, I have not seen a single prominent news or awards
Nope.
outlet predict a single animated film as a serious contender for Best Picture. This is on top of the award
Bias.
presentations themselves, where the presenters usually describe how amazing these kids' films are, and what a great joy it is to watch films like these as kids. Go f*** yourself!
Yeah, exactly.
Suck it!
Like that that monologue before the best animated feature Kanto one was so cringe. I cannot.
This is not only embarrassing when the nominee list contains some more mature films,
Oh yeah, Persepolis. I forgot that movie. I forgot there was an adaptation for that. I gotta watch it.
specifically made for adults, but it also devalues and disrespects the artistry that goes into crafting endearing, enjoyable films designed for all ages.
Yep.
If you want to treat this as a category for children's media, then why not nominate the fucking Paw Patrol movie and save us all the headache? I mean, a lot of Academy members have gone on record saying that they just vote for whatever their kids watch because they don't see this category as one that deserves their attention. So
That's why you need Academy members who actually pay attention to animation, not kids' movies.
oh yeah,
Because the like really. Oh yeah.
You blew it.
the Academy has no respect for the medium of animation, yada yada yada, this is nothing new. Or is it? Here's the thing. I may not have been following the Academy Awards during the 2000s because I was a little baby, but I'm going back to see which movies were nominated for various categories in previous years. And the track record animated films had in prominent categories is a significant far cry from what we're seeing today. So I'd like to take a trip down memory lane and ask, why does it seem like the Academy used to respect animation?
Not anymore!
First, let's briefly go over the pre-90s era. This was long before the Best Animated Feature Oscar was established, so from the 30s to the 80s, while the Best Animated Short Award was still around, the most recognition an animated feature film got was in the music categories.
Yep.
The Best Original Score and Best Original Song categories were loaded with nominations for Disney films, including score wins for Pinocchio and Dumbo, and a song win for Pinocchio's When You Wish Upon a Star. There were even a few non-Disney nominees in these categories, including Fleischer Studios' Gulliver's Travels, A Boy Named Charlie Brown, and An American Tail. Regardless, it's pretty clear that Disney features dominated the award recognition space for decades,
Well, obviously.
even if it was just in music categories. However, no Disney feature in this time frame ever received Best Picture recognition, not even a film as influential and important as Snow White. However, that all changed in 1991 with the release of Beauty and the Beast, a film so acclaimed and instantly iconic that it managed to be one of the 5 nominees for the Academy Award for Best Picture that year. Unheard of, right? To this day, I'm still stunned that the Academy recognized it, especially since it wasn't nominated for Best Director, Best Screenplay, or any of the acting categories. It's not impossible for a film to receive a Best Picture nomination without any of those other categories, but it is pretty uncommon. Generally, if you're gonna declare a film one of the 5 best of the entire year, you also probably consider it one of the 5 best directed films of the year, or you think it has one of the 5 best original or adapted screenplays of the year. But no, even without those categories, Beauty and the Beast clinched a nomination over other acclaimed films that year, like Thelma and Louise and Boys in the Hood. It obviously didn't win Best Picture, losing The Silence of the Lambs, but the fact that it was recognized with a nomination was a massive W, showing that animated films were worthy of recognition as some of the greatest movies of their respective years.
But again, the Oscars in Hollywood just calling animation just canned fodder for kids. Like, stop.
Plus, in addition to securing its status as the most nominated animated film ever, with 6 nominations, Beauty and the Beast continued the trend set by The Little Mermaid 2 years earlier, of Disney absolutely killing it in the Best Original Score and Song categories during the 90s. This was a
Oh, yeah.
substantial upgrade from the studio's few and far between wins in these categories from the 30s to the 80s. Disney dominated with wins in both of these categories for The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Lion King, and Pocahontas. And not only did these 5 films all win, but they got 6 other song nominations. Beauty and the Beast and Lion King both got 3 song nominations each, meaning there were more songs from these individual movies nominated than there were songs from any other movie combined in their respective years. Even though these are still just the music categories, and these movies still went unrecognized in the director, screenplay, and best picture categories outside of Beauty and the Beast. I think this utter dominance in these categories for so many years is definitely a clear indication of respect for the craft of this studio and its films. And while Disney stopped dominating these categories after Pocahontas, there were still plenty of animated films recognized with nominations and wins in these categories, including Tarzan, Anastasia, The Prince of Egypt, and South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, which was nominated for Best Original Song for Blame Canada. That's funny. But yeah, I think the Disney Renaissance really did wonders in terms of destigmatizing the idea of giving an animated film Oscar recognition. The 90s alone had the same amount of nominees for Best Original Score as the entirety of the 30s to the 80s. Granted, that may have been helped by the Academy briefly expanding the category into Best Dramatic Score and Best Musical Comedy Score during the late 90s, thus doubling the number of potential nominees. But even so, the fact that composers were consistently receiving Oscar recognition for their work on animated films, rather than it just happening every once in a blue moon, absolutely serves as an indication that the Academy was gaining more respect for animated features than they previously had. And then, something big happened.
Of course. Oh, that's just too good. That is too good.
Have you guys ever heard of this obscure indie film Shrek? Yeah, so it's hard to understate what a big deal this movie was. Everyone knows how much it changed animation, some would argue for the worse, but hey, at least the movie itself was a banger. Critically and commercially successful, Shrek was a surprise phenomenon. So much so that Jeffrey Katzenberg, you know, the disgruntled Disney executive who pushed for Pocahontas to get a Best Picture nomination and ultimately failed, who then followed that up by leaving the company to form its most prominent competitor, DreamWorks. Yeah, that asshole. He really wanted Shrek to be the next animated Best Picture nominee. Ultimately, Shrek did not receive a nomination for Best Picture, despite DreamWorks heavily campaigning for it. But if it makes you feel better, Moulin Rouge did, and that film features a man doing CGI backflips during a medley that includes Smells Like Teen Spirit, so at least we got one silly nominee that year. However, Shrek's prominence and acclaim was largely responsible for the creation of the Best Animated Feature category that debuted that year, which Shrek became the first ever winner of. It's so ironic to think that the category we now associate with Disney and Pixar had its first ever winner be Shrek. And then the next year, it was anime, so this kind of took its time becoming the Disney Pixar Award. Well, whatever. I'm not here to discuss this cringe-ass category today. What I'd like to take a look at is another pair of categories. One that, even more so than the original song and original score categories, serves as definitive proof that at one point, the Academy did respect animated films, despite what they'd like you to believe. Say hello to Best Original and Best Adapted Screenplay. Basically, these categories judge the script for movies. Original is for scripts that aren't based on any pre-existing material, and adapted is for scripts based on movies that are. So while the Best Picture category remains quiet for a while in regards to animated films, the 2000s were the decade where animated films finally started leaving their mark on the screenplay categories. For the most part, there was actually one animated film during the 90s that received the first ever screenplay nomination for an animated feature. It's this obscure indie film, you've probably never heard of it. It's called Toy Story. This was big. Obviously, Toy Story received recognition for being the first CGI animated film, even getting a special non-competitive Oscar for this achievement. But the script getting a nomination? Even Beauty and the Beast couldn't break through in that category, but Toy Story did it. The Academy sat down and said, yeah, this movie that was written to be enjoyed by kids contained one of the 5 best original screenplays of 1995. Like, wow, right? If that ain't respect, I don't know what is. And I feel like this achievement deserves recognition
Can.
alongside Beauty and the
Can.
Beast's Best Picture nomination. But of course, this was just the beginning.
The end. Ooh-wee. The Oscars don't respect animation no more.
Because now we return to Shrek. While it came up short of a Best Picture nomination, it nonetheless won the first Best Animated Feature Oscar, and perhaps more significantly, received a nomination for Best Adapted Screenplay.
Wow. That's nice. For Best Adapted.
Again, an animated film was chosen to have one of the best adapted scripts of 2001. That's insane. They're doing it. They're respecting the craft of animated films outside of just their music. Don't get me wrong, Beauty and the Beast's Best Picture nomination is huge, but it also felt like an outlier, especially considering how it wasn't recognized for its screenplay. But now, we're getting definitive proof that the Academy respects the work that goes into the writing of animated features. So much so that they stack them up alongside live-action movies made solely for adults, as having some of the best writing of any film that year. Well, okay, Toy Story and Shrek got recognized in these categories. Big deal. It's not like any other animated films received screenplay nominations, right?
Oh, wait.
No, you fucking idiot! In the 2000s, we got 6 more! 6! Granted, every single one of these nominations was from Pixar, but again, this is back before the Academy's Disney bias really set in. And these
Oh, yeah.
are movies that absolutely deserved the nominations. Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, Ratatouille, WALL-E, and Up all received Best Original Screenplay nominations, with Toy Story 3 getting a nomination for Best Adapted.
And Best Picture.
These movies were essentially a few slots away from Best Picture nominations. It's clear how much the Academy loved and respected them, considering how, on top of their
Actually, I'm curious now. I'm curious. I want to see accolades for 3.
Best Picture nominations.
I'm curious now. I want to see. Yeah, Best Picture for Toy Story 3. It was nominated.
It's clear how much the Academy loved and respected them, considering how, on top of their screenplays, they also kept racking up nominations and wins in other categories, like The Incredibles winning Best Sound Editing, or Up winning Best Original Score. But of course, we gotta talk about the big thing.
Elephant in
In
the room.
2008, WALL-E ended up tying Beauty and the Beast's record for being the most nominated animated film ever, with 6 nominations. It was acclaimed and beloved by casual moviegoers and cinephiles alike. But much like Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, and Ratatouille before it, it came up just short of getting a Best Picture nomination.
By the way, shout out to the Criterion Collection for making a dope ass cover for the release of WALL-E. Oh, just Criterion.com. Okay. Like, ooh, look at that. Ooh. That's good.
Back.
Oh wait.
This, on top of The Dark Knight getting snubbed for Best Picture, was an indication to the Academy that enough was enough. In order to honor more films and please more moviegoers, in 2009, the Academy finally expanded their list of Best Picture nominees from 5 to 10 films.
10 films. Let's get it. Like, that was a good year. You know, Her Locker one, but hey, at least you got that extension.
more films and please more moviegoers, in 2009, the Academy films. Given the amount of love Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, Ratatouille, and WALL-E were shown by the Academy, it's fair to assume that had this rule been implemented sooner, all 4 of these films probably would have been nominated for Best Picture in their respective years. So anyway, guess what happened in 2009?
The 10 films selected as Best Picture nominees for 2009 are Up, Jonas Rivera, producer.
Yep, we finally got another animated Best Picture nominee.
Another one.
Up isn't my favorite Pixar movie, nor my favorite animated film from that year, #Fantastic Mr. Fox Sweep. Its nomination is nonetheless a massive W. It's unlikely that it would have received a nomination if there were only 5 nominees, but a nom is a nom, and thanks to a rule that should have been implemented way sooner, Up made history as the first animated Best Picture nominee since Beauty and the Beast. And since Pixar wasn't done being on a roll yet, they followed this up with another Best Picture nomination for Toy Story 3 the following year, which again, would have been unlikely in a 5-nominee year, but it's still a massive W. So, there you have it. Even though the bulk of the Oscar conversation in the 2000s was dominated by Pixar, we nonetheless have definitive proof that the Oscars did value animation
at one
not
point
very long ago. Some have argued that the Best Animated Feature Oscar was conceived as a consolation prize for films like Shrek, so they didn't have to give it a Best Picture nomination. And, intentionally or not, it definitely served that role for Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, Ratatouille, and WALL-E. But I still think the screenplay nominations these films received speak to how much the Academy did respect them. They absolutely did find them worthy of recognition as some of the best films of their respective years.
Oh yeah, exactly. Especially WALL-E. Like, actually, more Toy Story 3 actually. But well, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It's just the fact, like, the more emotional entry of the Toy Story franchise, because now there's also got to mention there's going to be a fourth, and there's now going to be a 5th sequel happening. It should have just ended at 3, but, you know, Disney let it be fucking cash cows.
They just had 5 other movies they liked a little better each year. And when the pool of nominees was expanded, boom!
Boom, bam.
Toy Story 3 finally gave Pixar and the medium of animation their rightful spot in the list of nominees. So with all that history behind us, I have a question for the Academy. What the f*** happened? Wait, no, guys, there's been a mistake. Squarespace, you guys won Best Picture. This is not a joke. Squarespace has won Best Picture. Best Picture. Squarespace. I bet you're wondering how...
The fucking Oscars of 2017. I can't believe it's been 6 years since that slip up. 6 years. My God. That was a mistake. Moonlight, you won Best Picture. This is not a joke. I mean, I wasn't even rooting for La La Land to win Best Picture, but that upset was still shocking.
How a website builder could win Best Picture at the Academy Awards. The truth is, I have no idea, but you know what? That's not the weirdest decision the Academy has made.
Yeah, true. Like, fuck Green Book. That was the worst in recent memory that we've had for Best Picture wins. The absolute worst. There's better films that came out that year. It's like, yeah, it took a long... Yeah, it was a dub for Fairly. Considering he could have won back in the 90s for Dumb and Dumber, but the Academy didn't give him the love that then. But still, it was just not a good win.
Anyway, Squarespace is pretty cool, so why don't I give their acceptance speech in the form of an ad read? Squarespace is a fantastic, intuitive, online website builder that allows you to create beautiful websites for your business or personal hobby. Present your work using Squarespace's professional portfolio designs. Display projects in customizable galleries and add password-protected pages to share private works with clients. You can even present your videos from YouTube, Vimeo, and Animoto on your Squarespace site. Add an image overlay to your video to improve your website's load speed by waiting to embed video players players until playback starts. Every design automatically includes a unique mobile presence that matches the overall style of your website, so your content will look great on every device, every time. And if you don't want that, you can always disable the mobile view from Website Manager. Buying a domain from Squarespace is so simple because there are no hidden fees or price hikes. Each domain comes with an ad-free parking page and free WHOIS privacy on eligible domains. Squarespace sells over 200 top-level domains, so you can find the perfect name for your website. Choose a URL that ends in .com, .net, .org, or you can always get a more specific one like .art if you want to be fancy. If you're ready to share your passions or promote your business with the rest of the world, head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/ShapeForAlice to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Ever since 2010, the Academy has dropped off the face of the earth in terms of giving animated films recognition outside of the Best Animated Feature category.
Yes, 100%. I agree. Like, they don't respect the medium. They just want to be like more live action, more live action, more live action. It's fine, but like every once in a while, put in a Best Picture nom for like film that's deserving in the animation department. Like, come on. We shouldn't have to be waiting years for it to happen again. Like every few years or so, cool. But like, really, this is pathetic. All right, I might go wash my hands really quick and then we'll resume. So yeah, I'll hit the BRB screen. Okay. Gotta make sure the volume was good. Okay.
I mean, Pixar was doing so well. What happened in 2011 that made you stop giving them nominations? Oh, okay, yeah, that's understandable. I get it. But what about the other great movies Pixar's made since then? I know they started becoming really hit and miss during the 2010s, but there's still some good stuff. Inside Out, Coco, Soul, Luca. Did any of them get recognition outside of Best Animated Feature?
Nope.
Inside Out got a screenplay nomination. Yeah, that's the only one for an animated film since 2010. Just Inside Out. We went from a decade with 7 animated films receiving Best Screenplay nominations to 1. Coco was easily Pixar's most acclaimed and beloved film in years, garnering the same amount of respect from critics and moviegoers as their 2000s films. Yeah, we'll give it a Best Animated Feature award and Best Song, and that's it. No recognition anywhere else. Not for its screenplay, not for its score, nothing. Soul released in 2020, a year where only like 10 movies came out. Surely it must have had a good shot at the Best Picture nomination, right? No, I didn't see this movie anywhere near the Best Picture discussion. It managed to win for its score, the first animated win in that category since Up, and it got a sound nomination, the first animated nominee since Toy Story 3, but yeah, that's it. No Best Picture nod for you. In fact, even the Best Original Score category looks really sparse in terms of animated nominees during the 2010s, with the number of animated films with nominations being cut in half from the 2000s. At least Soul got a win and Encanto got a nod to kick off the 2020s, but even so, this is a far cry from the animation domination over this category during the 90s, and the respectable consistency animation had in this category during the 2000s. Flea made history being the first animated film to get a Best Documentary nod, so that's something, I guess. Kubo and the Two Strings got a visual effects nomination, and so did The Lion King 2019, so that's great for animation. And out of all categories, Best Original Song is the only one still going strong, with animated nominees at least every other year. But like, that's more of a way to recognize the song itself rather than the film it came from. 50 Shades of Grey got a Best Original Song nomination. Do you think that film should be allowed within 50 feet of an Academy Award?
Fuck no. That's such an embarrassment.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
I don't think so.
So, yeah. In hindsight, I guess I shouldn't find it all that surprising that Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish didn't receive any nominations outside of Best Animated Feature. The list of animated films since 2010 that get any recognition outside of Animated Feature and Original Song is a pretty short list compared to how it was before. So, seriously, what happened? Why did the Academy wake up one day and suddenly decide that animated films weren't worthy of prominent recognition? Well, as a major Cars 2 hater, it would be easy to blame that movie for ruining Pixar's reputation and making it harder for their films to receive recognition. But I don't know if that stigma really stuck. I mean, Cars 1 wasn't received the best, it didn't get a screenplay nomination, and even lost Best Animated Feature to Happy Feet of all things. But then Pixar came back with a 4-film winning streak that the Academy showered them with praise for. So even though Cars 2 is much worse than the first film, I don't think it necessarily means the Academy doesn't respect Pixar anymore. Inside Out still got a screenplay nomination after all. They still clearly engaged with this film enough to recognize how good its writing was. They didn't just vote it into this category because their kids liked it. However, maybe the problem lies with the direction a lot of the most popular animated films have been taking lately. Pixar was the spearhead for excellence in animation during the 2000s, with their films being as prominent in pop culture as they were critically acclaimed. But then the 2010s came around and the studio's focus shifted to mediocre sequels that didn't leave nearly as much of a cultural impact as the original works they made during the 2000s.
Yeah.
But like it or not, you know which studio and which franchise did leave a huge cultural impact during the 2010s?
Yep.
Yeah, I hate to be that guy, but despite the billions of dollars Pixar sequels made at the box office, those movies weren't nearly as talked about as Illumination and their Minion-encrusted films.
Yep.
I feel like this is the prevailing notion of what an animated film that came out during the 2010s was. Plus, on top of that, the popularity of films like Frozen, which, while not bad, certainly can't be considered anywhere near worthy of a Best Picture nomination, further cemented how the most popular animated films coming out during this decade weren't nearly as good as the ones coming out during the 2000s. Does this mean the Academy is justified in ignoring the actually great pieces of art to come out of the medium of animation
Not really.
in the 2010s? Absolutely not. There are so many animated films during this decade that could have and should have been in the conversation for Best Picture, Best Screenplay, hell, even Best Director.
I'm glad that Rango got a nomination and a win, but like it could have deserved a lot more.
Off the top of my head, there's Spider-Verse, the Lego Movie, The Tale of the Princess Kaguya, Song of the Sea, and Pixar's own Inside Out and Coco. So many great films with barely any recognition outside of the designated category they're stuck in. And sometimes they don't even get that. But if I'm gonna try and think like a stuffy old white dude, which is the primary demographic of the Academy, in my eyes, the golden days of Pixar are over, and animation nowadays is dominated by Frozen and the Minions. Again, that's not my actual perspective, but I feel like it might be the perspective of the dumb fucks that vote for this show. When it looks at a cursory glance like animation is more catered towards kids than ever, then why engage with animated films at all? Why not just nominate and ultimately vote for whatever popular Disney or Pixar thing is out, without considering the idea that, hey, maybe these movies are worthy of nominations outside of animated feature and original song. Maybe they're not just for kids. Maybe there's still amazing animated films coming out that are absolutely worthy of Best Screenplay and Best Picture nominations. They just aren't easily categorized under this one studio anymore. I remember how hyped everyone felt when Spider-Verse won Best Animated Feature. It's the first time since 2011 that Disney or Pixar didn't win the award.
And also, I mentioned the fact that they cut off the rest of the speech because they were trying to move the camera so on. Like, come on. Oh, I know that you gotta move quick with the show, but come on, don't cut off a speech.
It's a massive W for animation fans that it got this recognition. But then, if you really stop and think about it, why the hell was Best Animated Feature the extent of its nominations? I mean, this is Spider-Verse we're talking about. One of the best and most iconic films of the 2010s. Second only to Parasite as the highest rated film of the 2010s on Letterboxd. Critics, moviegoers, and industry veterans universally adored it. It kicked off a revolution in terms of how animated films are made and how they look. And you're telling me that it received a whopping 1 nomination at the Academy Awards? Where was the screenplay acknowledgement? What about original score?
You blew it. You blew it.
I'm giving maybe 3 you blew it's and 5 bonks. I'll just do the 5 bonks first just so I can get them out of the way. Alright. And here's the 3 you blew it's.
You blew it. You blew it. You blew it.
Or sound design, or visual effects, or even Best Director. We've never had an animated film before that looks like this. Is that not a significant directorial achievement? And Best Picture, don't make me laugh. Vice? Bohemian Rhapsody? Green Book? You thought these were worthy of Best Picture nominations?
I mean, Roma is definitely worthy, but fucking hell, man, those nominations were bad.
But Spider-Verse wasn't? Even Black Panther, while culturally significant and worthy of recognition this year, is a movie that I don't think anyone can argue is only the second best film of 2018 based on a Marvel property with a black lead. Nominate them both, you cowards! However,
Well,
that leads me
well, I'd still say Black Panther does deserve some nominations. Yeah, win that Best Picture win. Yeah.
into my last point. Hope for the future. In terms of genre, Black Panther is far outside the realm of films that the Academy usually nominates for Best Picture. Same with Get Out, or Mad Max Fury Road, or this year with Everything Everywhere All at Once. The Academy is slowly changing, gaining younger, more diverse, and more passionate about film members that are slowly but surely making less terrible decisions. If they can nominate a superhero epic, a horror film, a balls-to-the-wall action picture, and an epic multiverse-spanning butt-plug fight movie that probably gave most of the older members heart attacks, then I see no reason why they can't circle around and finally start giving animated films their time in the spotlight again. But with that said,
Yeah.
I don't think another animated Best Picture nominee is gonna happen for a while. Animation is not in a good state right now, with streaming services treating animated shows like shit, and big studios like Disney consistently making bad choices regarding the release plans of their films. Currently, Hollywood isn't respecting animation, and if that's the case, then it's unlikely the Oscars are gonna suddenly start doing
Yep.
so. Like, here's a thought experiment. If Everything Everywhere All at Once was the exact same movie, except it was animated instead of live action, do you think it would have been nominated for Best Picture, Director, and Screenplay?
Probably not.
No. I think they would have just tossed it a Best Animated Feature bone instead of defaulting to Disney or Pixar this year and moved on with their lives. So, it's gonna be a while. But I think that the artistry that goes into these films is gonna get harder and harder to deny, especially after the revolution that Spider-Verse kicked off. With more unconventional Best Picture nominees making their way into the category than ever, I don't think it's out of the question for the Academy to wake up one day and finally start giving animation the respect it deserves.
Hey, that's pretty good. I love it. Yeah, that's my soundboard.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Again, it'll probably take a massive industry-wide shift, but hopefully the seeds for said shift have already been planted. Anyway, can't wait to watch the show and see Jimmy Kimmel make unfunny jokes about the Will Smith slap.
Yeah, it's gonna be so cringe. I know. Considering the 2017 and 18 Oscars, yeah, I am not confident this guy will do any good better. Nope. In fact, I'm going so far as to say it's probably gonna do an even worse job than those shows.
Good night, tri-state area.
I don't care if Puss in Boots win. I just need Disney to lose. That's all of our minds. That's in all of our minds. Exactly. All right. That meme's true. All right. Last video, which is the main one of the streaming, where we're reacting to another refurbished quote unquote console from DKOldies. All right, let's kick it off, Danny Rich.
Back by popular demand.
Hold on. Wait. Here's the volume.
Back by popular demand, meaning people were DMing me on Twitter saying, "Hey, Rich, talk about it. We're still interested to hear your take. I'm going to complain about DKOldies sending out another console that somebody refurbished. And it's not refurbished. They say it's refurbished. They'll put a sticker on it making it like it's refurbished. But 8-Ball, is it actually refurbished?
I can't believe he still has the 8-Ball. Oh, man. That was such a thing with Rich's Dreams in like the past couple months. We're like, actually, well, I'd probably say maybe almost half a year ago. Yeah, I'd say probably around half a year ago, when his family had COVID and he had to stay down in his other office. He did the 8-ball over there for when people brought in donos and whatnot. Still great, and I'm glad that he brought it back for this video. Oh, the dono is so... I don't know. The 8-ball's amazing.
I love it.
No.
Focus and ask again. That's what does it. Can I flip it? Of course it's not. It says focus and ask again. I'm gonna have you focus on my goddamn ass. Let's start the video. Skip.
The horses.
So it's review DK Oldies. I was actually gonna glance over this. I said talking about this yesterday was redundant, but then I got a Rich. We want to see because Tronics Fix. I actually been watching Tronics Fix for a while. I remember back, I think it was in 2016, that he had a PS4 that was full of roaches.
Now I'm curious. What the fuck? Like, I know my house is filthy. I know my place is filthy. That, like, I know there's times that, like, I used to have such a roach problem. My God, it was a bad thing. But we haven't had roaches for years in my house. But that's not the only thing we're dealing with is, and for the past couple months it was mice. But the mice we haven't seen of, like, for like maybe a month or so. Like, I want to say it's field mice, not rats. But for the most part, I haven't had any issues, so that's good.
I'm gonna hurl just thinking about it, but it's true.
So am I.
Like, how disgusting can you be to get a console infested with roaches?
Let alone smoker's dust in a fucking PS5 that was literally stolen and sold on Wish.com. Completely banned. Oh, the internet. Man. People on the internet, they really do some dumb shit sometimes. Oh.
Baba Booey.
Like, that's like basic hygiene and cleaning up is... Anyway, I could go on a rant about that for hours. So anyway, Tronics Fix decided to order a very expensive NES player pack from DK Oldies. DK Oldies, the true colors of them are just shining through, and everyone wants to make videos because people are interested in this topic because they are amazing as a company that they have been getting away with this for so long.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, the fact that I've known about them for like 5 years, man. Like, I've known about the company for 5 years, and I was just like so glad I stayed hesitant in getting shit from them, especially after all of this like news about like consoles being so dirty, not even cleaning the internals properly. Like, the fact that they're just using compressed air inside, like, they're just lazy. They were absolutely fucking lazy. Like, when I heard like the games weren't so bad, but like, man, if they were that bad, you'd see the reviews going down even further. And my phone just dropped. Thanks, sweatpants.
You blew it. You blew it.
And saying they're doing something they're not so they could raise prices. So a lot of other people like, hey, I want in on this exposure of DK Oldies gravy train too.
I mean, I almost wanted to just go in for the lulz and just see how bad the system is. But no, I'm good. Besides, I almost wanted to do an NES, but well, I guess a Super Nintendo. But I already have a Super Nintendo that's on pre-order. That's going to be arriving by the end of the year. So, and that's not even from DK Oldies, and it's actually from a company that I trust, which is Analog.
Because yes, the videos get views, and I like exposing terrible people and companies. I take great pride in it, and I get thoroughly tickled. So
oh, you're thoroughly tickled.
I am thoroughly tickled.
Oh, man.
anyway, this is going to be a semi-react
Heard that
video.
Inception.
I don't want it to be too long. I've already rambled long enough where we watch Tronics Fix unbox and disassemble his Nintendo Entertainment System. And how do you think it's going to come out?
Oh, this is going to be such a shit show. Based on what we've already seen from Rich so many damn times, Jacob R so many damn times. Oh, Rich is more like running on 4. I want to say because he's also got the N64, which is probably gonna drop today. Then I'll react on stream tomorrow on Twitch. But yeah, oh man.
Take a guess on your breasts.
Breasts.
Man.
Doesn't come out well, does it, Eric? Spoiled it. Damn it, you could shut off the video now. Or you could subscribe to my channel and subscribe to my live stream channels. Link to everything below in the description, man.
I've never actually purchased anything from DK Oldies, but I've seen a lot of mixed comments about DK Oldies on some of my YouTube videos and TikTok videos, so I wanted to buy something from them so I could check them out for myself. I have to say
he has an unlicensed game as well. Oh man. How to hook up to your original video game system. Just call it how to hook up your game console. That's it. You don't just go specific. It's not the fucking 80s anymore. God damn, this owner's so bad. Maybe a good thing to actually also mention the number to call, even though it's also available on the site.
everything seemed to be packaged pretty well, so I have no issues with the packaging.
Yeah, packaged pretty well. It's not their standards. Oh, how much more? I bet there's going to be some rattling inside, and they didn't pay close enough attention.
The zapper gun is definitely not original.
Yeah, this is definitely a third party, because otherwise I'd see the Nintendo logo and that plate would be white, not black.
Original, which...
Oh, God. I didn't even notice that the first time that the zapper gun isn't original. So we're going to...
Like, the fact that they're just full-blown dedication to the third-party controls and not OEM, it's like, wow. It's just... it doesn't seem to amaze me, DKLDs.
You blew it.
Find out how much...
You blew it.
So we're going to find...
Okay, I'm playing it again because you said it.
You blew it. You blew it. You blew it. You blew it. You blew it. You blew it. You blew it.
Okay, I'm going to bring the volume up on that because that's...
You blew it.
Not a loud clip.
Find out how much he spent, then we're going to skim through this video, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes.
Ah, yes.
I don't think it specifically says that it's going to be original, but in the picture it does kind of make me think it will be.
Now I see.
No. You couldn't be more dead wrong than that. The fact that they just don't even show screen caps of the actual thing and just always show a placeholder, it's just always hilarious to me. Like, they just really love scamming the shit out of people.
See why everyone wanted me to talk about this. And the zapper, you are putting a fake version of a peripheral in a bundle.
You blew it.
You are
You blew it again.
putting the fake version of a peripheral. Oh my God.
You blew it.
You
blew it.
Come on, Rich, you got this.
You are putting the fake version of a peripheral in a package, and you're naming the package around the peripheral. So people are like, man, I missed the original Zapper. I remember playing that. I got the CRT that works perfectly. I found it at a garage sale. Oh, look, DK Oldies is selling a Zapper pack. Of course, if they're gonna, you would assume that if they're close.
Oh, okay. This is the day that they get they get the package in the mail, and they look away. Wait, wasn't this supposed to be a different color? Why is it red and black? Couldn't it just be red and white? Why is this like there's no Nintendo logo anywhere? What the crap is this?
Calling it the Zapper pack. They'll at least have the Zapper be original, right? No.
No.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Literally. We're going down this rabbit hole. Oh. Well, hey, DK Oldies.
Number 14. Fuck off.
I had to do a short version for that. That's true.
Oh, that is not what they did. They gave you a crap third-party Zapper. I have a little bit of a cold. I'm not laughing. I'm coughing.
Kind of silly.
Feel better, man. Feel better. Maybe somehow he must have gotten it from taking care of his daughter. I don't know. I'm just saying, just feel better. That's all I can say.
And my part though. So this is what I got: the original NES Mario 1-2-3 Zapper pack. Let's just click on that real quick. So yeah, the Zapper gun.
That's still insane. $249.99 if you were getting it now, but they list it as $300. Like again, like I know this is like months ago, but I'm just gonna go prove my point. We're going straight to price charting right now. Let's go look up for an NES. Just the console, just like the console. Okay, well, obviously not. Okay, well, price charting not. Oh, I'll still get price charting just for the games. So, but let's go for an NES. An NES with a controller. I'm going straight to buy now. From 119 to 339. I mean, that depends on the games as well. But 119 if you're just getting without the games. Which, I mean, could be a little fair, but hey, 90. Let's look at this listing right here. $90. Okay, yeah, this one might be a bit scummy because it's just landed there. Okay, item description. Official test and working does not include any games or chords. You see exactly this picture. Okay, this one's honest. You get honest listings like this in there. There are some counterfeit ones. Scummy ones. Look at this. An NES. This is a new listing. An NES with the controller and AV cables and whatnot. OEM. Mario Duck Hunt. Come on, it's only one game. For $100. $100. There's no other games. Bear in mind, the guy also got 3 games, so it could have also. But like honestly, $200 is the maximum that you should be spending on this. This is just like I said, this is DKO's inflating prices just because to try to get away with quote unquote refurbishing the consoles, or in this case, just blowing out dust or fixing like the rattle, and then just shipping it as is, like not even doing the full refurbishment, just to put that sticker to try to prevent you from opening the system.
Definitely doesn't show that it is the original, but it does look like the original.
Okay, I'll go as far to also compare prices to the Mario games. So let's go look at Super Mario Bros. With Duck Hunt, which is a more common one. loose price. You can find this for $5. Complete 54. That's part of that listing. Let's go search for Mario 2. Or basically Doki Doki Panic here in basically Doki Doki Panic in the States. Let's look at that. I'm trying to find the original. Low price. You can find that for loose 20 like shy of $25. Whatnot. Complete 98. I mean, like, it's still stretching it a bit complete, but 90. But I can get that for $20 for Mario 2. All right, now to the last one. Mario Bros. 3 for the NES. Cheaper than Mario 2, loose price. We're going under $20. Complete, also cheaper than Mario 2 / Doki Doki Panic complete for 70, like just shy of $78. And I might as well do the calculation and whatnot. So it was like 556, and we get like I might also get the 2365. $140 just from the loose. We're just looking at the loose prices. From the loose pricings alone, plus what you get in that eBay listing, you'd be only spending shy of $150. Again, yeah, that's $150. That's a more appropriate amount. This is overblown.
So that's obviously kind of my bad.
No, it's not your bad.
Now,
it's not your bad, man. Like, I started a video like yesterday. I was the guy also got it. Another console. Maybe it's the same one. Maybe it's the same guy. I don't know. Maybe it's, I don't know. I think it was
$314 for what I got.
$314. $304. Even if this thing was refurbished perfectly, like Drew himself licked it clean, then disinfected it and changed every capacitor and found a 72 pin connector, whatever.
Maybe. I'm not totally sure, but I 100% bet it would probably be somewhere close to that.
How many and he found a one made of platinum. That Flava Flav was wearing this connector around his neck. He's like, nah, man, I need this for Tronics fix. That all doesn't matter.
No.
$314? $314? Even if this was the most perfect NES ever.
That's still too much. I'm just going to say it's still too much. And considering I just proved that based on listings from eBay for the console with like Mario 1 and those two price charting listings for Mario 2 and Mario 3 North America NES loose for just shy of $150. Like, do you not notice the red flags there?
Why are we still here?
I know I'm playing it
Just to suffer.
just to play it so much, but yeah, why are we still here to suffer?
Unless it was brand new, it would be a lot more money if it was new in box. But you get my point. How dare you charge this much, even if you did the work that you said you do, but we know you don't, making that price even more horrific. Why are my glasses off?
But I also have the original.
You took them off during the rant, Rich. That's why they're off. I mean, looking back at the footage, you probably realize that, but still, like, you took them off, so, I mean, you kind of blew it, man.
You blew it.
But not really.
controllers. And then I also have the HDMI cable, the other cables as well, and then the AV HDMI converter.
That's actually a pretty good converter. It doesn't mean it still look like crap because it's composite, but
oh yeah, I have
a lot of times
I had the same converter. It's not horrible. I really believe that it's not horrible.
there's a lot, you get those converters and they don't work with a lot of monitors. That one took up the composite to HDMI. Do I still have it here? I hope I do. Hope I didn't lose it because it's actually useful. Works on most televisions. So they give a good converter box. Yay, DK Oldies.
So the first thing I notice with this system is this is definitely a replacement top, and the colors do not match with the shell. That honestly is a little bit of a disappointment because I was hoping everything would be original, and the color mismatch, I mean, that's kind of an issue given that I'm paying absolute top dollar for this thing.
Yeah, and it looks dirty too. That doesn't look like they even did some hardcore Windexing to it.
No.
You can kind of see the color mismatch here.
Yeah, I could see the yellowing, no problem. Clear as day.
Not the best, but I don't know.
And a
not
little
my
scuff
favorite.
mark
Not
there.
a huge deal, but it is a little disappointing, especially.
I mean, if you're really expecting that much for premium, yeah, it kind of is a big deal. As long as it like to expect like sparkles, you know, that if you're expecting that, yeah, it's a big deal. But honestly, the most big deal is if the machine is fully cleaned internally and works properly.
Especially given that this isn't an original game cover either. Let's get this thing plugged in and see if it works. Let's start with the best game ever for the NES, Super Mario 3. Let's see if it'll turn on and if it shows up on the screen.
Oh no. Oh, the console's wait, no, the cartridge is dirty. Oh god. We're repeating this again with Rich's NES. Oh, this is not a good sign at all. Oh god.
Let's try a bit of a reset. Okay, so I'm gonna plug the game in and out several.
Oh.
You blew it. You blew it.
I'm gonna give it like 3 more you blew it's.
You blew it. You blew it. You blew it.
Cause it's for Mario 3 of all games.
Several times. And now let's try it. And gray screen. Okay, let's try it without pushing the game down into the system. Just having the game pushed in, but not pushing the tray all the way down. And gray screen.
Nothing like spending $300 on a Nintendo Entertainment System and have it right out of the box not work with games that you also got from DK Oldies. So they can't even say that we put in a game and it works. Like that's not even happening here. That's not even happening. They are frauds. They are frauds. Do you understand why I get obsessed with companies and people like this? Because the audacity that they have just fascinates me. Like, even if I wasn't making YouTube videos, I would be, like, psychologically invested in this because it's bizarre that these people get away with it. They've been getting away with it for years. Even alleged former employees have said it. And now the chickens, meaning my nipples, have come home to roost and expose them. And I might be hard because I hate terrible companies and terrible people. Not that I'm an angel, but I would never do something like this.
No.
All right, so he finagles with that. It didn't work right out of the box unless he did some forced and blue in the games. So now let's take a look at the controller.
Now, as I said, I did get the pack.
I mean, visually speaking, not in the worst condition. It looks basically just like my NES controller for my classic.
With the 2 original controllers, and this does look all original. It does have some scratching on it and stuff like that, but really not too bad. Kind of what you'd expect from, for getting an original. Let's take it apart though and have a look at the inside.
Yeah,
see
let's
if they
see.
did anything, if they cleaned it out or anything
I don't think
like
so.
that. Okay, this all looks all pretty good so far. Okay, this one definitely.
Okay, we got a little bit of of shit that hasn't been cleaned. Oh man, yeah. Oh, they are such a terrible company.
Has not been cleaned on the inside.
Look at the grime. That's like opening up an NES controller is like surface level refurbishing. It's like not even that much of a step further than Windexing the outside of the NES. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
So,
oh god. It didn't
so
they,
horrendous.
They were trying to say in Jigsaw, who was allegedly a former employee there, they
Yeah, like we watched Jigsaw's video. Like, they're not even fulfilling that part, even 3 years ago. The reason it's taken this long for DKOldies to finally see the criticism is because we haven't been talking about it as much. But trust me, the criticism is there.
They tried to say they changed their ways 8 months ago. How? What have you changed? Drew, what?
How the what have you changed, Drew? Out of all this shit, what have you done? Because this is just so bad.
What have you changed, Joey? What have you changed?
You can see all of this kind of grime on this pad right here. Same with this one right here. Let's check this one with the start button. Yeah, same thing here. So, I mean, not a huge deal. It's not like these are like super gross, but they also definitely weren't cleaned.
I appreciate the professionalism that I personally lack that Tronix Fix has here.
Yeah.
He's called a game dev a dickhead on Twitter today, by the way. You should go check me out on Twitter. I'm off the rails there. I probably should stop, but if you like to see a shit show, follow me on Twitter.
And we'll just
I mean,
go
the
ahead
shit show's
and
pretty
remove
nice.
the sticker because we void warranty.
Wow. Wow. That almost came off completely clean. I mean, there's still a little bit of like the don't tamper sticker mark on there, but under the screw hole, that was clean.
Tronix Fix. Okay, and now the top should be able to come off. And there we go. Actually, looking at the top, the first thing I notice is there's like spider web in here.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, that is bad.
It's kind
Oh, spider webs. Oh.
hard to see, but there's like kind of dead bug bodies and
Oh. Oh god. What the hell is that? Like,
Look here! Look, listen!
this is so bad. Oh. Oh. Oh.
What sort of backwards fucking pageantry is that?
in this spider web. Not like a huge deal or anything, but I feel like this either hasn't been cleaned or it's just been sitting around for a long time getting bugs in it.
Oh, it was definitely a long time, but fuck, man, that is absolutely gross.
There was a spider.
That was a knock. I'll play that again.
I'm getting bugs in it.
Rich. Oh my god, Rich. You didn't have to fake it. You could have just like done at least one real one and then just fake it the rest of the way.
There was a spider web in the top. The easiest thing is to just take off the top of the NES. Do you understand? Yes, Jay, this video is now going to be about 30 minutes long. You may have to get Scorsese involved with it. This is probably you begging me to stop right now. Even if...
And the Oscar goes to... Oh, man.
If they did the blowing out they say they do, that web wouldn't have been there.
100%.
There would have been enough air through the vents to make that web pop right off. Thanks, Drew. Thanks, Joey. Thank you for this well-refurbished NES. You are a fraud. I enjoy exposing you. The price you spent on that, there shouldn't be bugs in it. That's like you spent mid-range graphics card money on an NES, which you could get for significantly less if you shop around on eBay. And
yes, and I proved that earlier. This is so bad.
Even though it may not be refurbished, I guarantee you it's in better shape than this.
And at least most, I'm not saying all, but at least most of the sellers on eBay are flat out honest about their feedback. Like about like the description of like what they're selling. Like, they're selling as is for this price. Fine. It's once you don't actually, so once you promise something and you're not delivering that shit, that you really start to become enemy number one.
I don't know why I did that.
First impressions of...
That should be a beatbox.
Of the inside, other than the top case with the spider webs on it, nothing looks too crazy in here. It's definitely not, you know, spick and span clean, but not too bad. So let's get the rest of these screws out and have a look specifically at this 72 pin.
Yeah.
Now, it's been a while since I've taken one of these
I just sneezed twice, man. Whew. And Rich was right. It was a 72-pin connector.
part that had all the screws in it, but I feel like this has to be missing some screws here.
Oh, this
is Tronics.
Like, exactly. like before it even mentions it, like, yeah, like, look at those screw holes. They're not filled in. They're not filled in. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screw holes not filled in that they didn't even do. Like they were, quote unquote, cleaning the internals. I bet there was just dust just hanging on the CPU. They're like, okay, that's good enough. And they just plugged the cover on top, and they didn't even screw the whole way in. Like, that's lazy. Oh my god.
Screws here.
Yes, Tronics fix. It's missing screws because mine was too. Mine was too. Yep. It's missing those screws.
The screws that we took out already were on from these posts right here. Other than that, there's one screw down there.
I'm surprised you didn't hear any rattling coming out of the NES when you picked it up. Should have mentioned it at the beginning of the video.
One screw over here, and then just the screws for this right here. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be more screws than that.
For, again, the price you spent on it. And then on top of it, there's a reason Nintendo, there's a reason that engineers, corporations don't spend money on extra screws that they don't need to, or extra parts that they don't need to. The reason the NES was designed with those many screws in mind was they were probably thinking of the wear and tear that would happen as you put games in and out of it. Over time, I'm sure that they did their stress testing before they delivered the product and said, we need to have screws here to brace the system so parts inside don't disconnect or break. So if there's a screw there, chances are there's a reason that the engineers put the screw there, because corporations would not spend money on the extra screws and parts if they didn't need to.
So This is sort of interesting right over here. Now, the advertisement didn't say anything about having the lockout chip.
Oh, yeah, this is bad. Oh, this is just bad.
Disabled.
Now, this is something, just a little sidebar that's interesting, and I'm sure because DKOldies never opened this console, or if they did, they just replaced the 72-pin connector and slapped it back together. Whoever sold this NES or gave it away or whatever, disable the NES lockout chip. That was the chip that basically communicated with the cartridge. The NES communicated with the cartridge, telling it it's a legitimate game, which Nintendo did this to try to prevent piracy and from having random crap games made for the Nintendo Entertainment System. They had to fall under Nintendo's seal of quality. So someone who sold this NES or got rid of it disabled that chip so you could play whatever damn games you want to, licensed or not. Interesting little side note. I'm sure Joey didn't know about it though. Maybe Drew did.
No.
Other than that, I mean, there's a little bit of, dust and debris in here, but...
I see the Tickle television in the corner. Oh, man. Quantum is thoroughly tickled.
I am thoroughly tickled.
Not bad. Pretty clean overall.
But yeah, there should be no dust and debris. That again is Windex level stuff. If you have the console taken apart and you're actually refurbishing it, that should be the most basic stuff that should be done. So that is a big deal that it's not done. But it gets worse. We get into the connector. This video is going to be 3 hours long and have 12 views. Let's go.
Now, looking at these pins on the board, they don't look too bad.
Oh, that's not the worst condition I've seen.
Clean them.
That's not the worst condition I've seen. I've actually looked... Oh. I mean, I've seen worse with, like, the Sega CD. Like, the attachment. Be so weak for the Genesis. I mean, even though I don't have a Sega CD, but I do have the Mega SG, which comes with the connector for the, probably Model 2. Most likely Model 2 Sega CD. But, yeah.
Just to make sure they're nice and clean. Now, for this 72 pin... I'm going to tighten this thing up by getting my pick under these little pins and bending them back up.
Look at those 72 pins. They're not making... That's a cheap third-party connector, and they're not really making contact with part of the cartridge. And it would have taken... like, if you're refurbishing these things on top of it, too, even if one game worked, you didn't try a few games, 3 or 4 games? DK Oldies? Like... They don't really check to even see if they work. Like I said, my Xbox didn't work. It read a couple games after it struggled with 90% of them. You guys saw the video.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of nastiness coming up there.
Yeah, that's a lot of dirt.
Wow, DK Oldies didn't clean the connector on the motherboard.
Yeah, a big indeed. Like, that's bad.
So lo and behold, he cleans the pins on the motherboard of the NES. He tightens up the pins on the 72 pin connector. If I'm saying the wrong number of pins, who cares? And he shows himself re-cleaning the cartridges. Then it actually works because Tronics Fix actually refurbished it. He did what DK Oldies don't.
Oh, sick bird. DK old. Tronics Fix what DK didn't. Tronics Fix. Tronics Fix. Tronics Fixed. Tronics Fixed.
Genesis dust. So
he just. I was thinking. Tronics fixed what DK's didn't.
This is why you guys wanted me to talk about this. That is an insane amount of money to basically be sold a lie by DK Oldies. This is the problem that the YouTube community has with him.
Oh, no, what DK didn't.
This is why the YouTube community is so interested in watching videos on this subject, because it is amazing that a company keeps getting away with this, and so long as they do, I'm gonna keep calling them out, and many other YouTubers are too. I headbutt my bird, and now my head hurts over here a little bit. This is Rich of Review Tech USA, signing out. Have a good one. I'm sorry, Jay. This is gonna take 74 hours to edit because I'm insane.
me. Yep. Man. All right. Yeah. That was a really disgusting console. And so glad that eBay's an option. I just know that I can't wait for which is DKOldies N64 video and the Lukey Games video that he's got. I have only bought one game for Lukey Games, so yeah. All right. Like I said, that's it for me. Wasn't planning on making it a long stream. I wanted to just mainly react to these videos, so which are linked below in the description. I don't know why I almost. That's oh yes, man. It's just. Right. Okay. So. I'm gonna finish my coffee and do some stuff, like writing and whatnot. My visual novel. So yeah. I will see y'all tomorrow on the Twitch, where we'll probably, I'm not saying if it drops today, one of the reviews, if the N64 review drops today, I'll watch it tomorrow morning. If not, we'll probably do some gaming. When I don't know whether I'll do some speed runs. I don't want to hop on Splatoon. Probably on Salmon Run. Actually, I don't know what I want to do tomorrow morning. All right.